Artificial intelligence is gaining a lot of use in biomedical engineering. So today we are going to see what is the difference between AI, ML and DL. AI or artificial intelligence refers to the simulation of human intelligence by machines. So if any machine it can behave intelligently just like a human being, it is termed as an artificial intelligent machine. Now coming to machine learning and deep learning. So you might have seen this image where AI is the superset and ML and DLs are the subsets. Now let us understand the difference between machine learning and deep learning with the help of a simple banana. If we show the image of a banana to a human being, he can easily identify if it is eatable or non-eatable. And if the same behavior can be achieved by machines, then it will be known as artificially intelligent machine. Now there are two ways, in fact there are three ways to do this thing. So the first way is hand coding, the second way is machine learning, and the third way is deep learning. So what is meant by hand coding? So in hand coding, we ask an expert banana eater how he decides whether to eat a banana or not. So he might say that whenever I get a banana, I see if it is yellow or green. If it is green, I don't eat. If it is yellow, then I look at the patches. If there are no black patches, I will eat the banana. If there are black patches, then I look for the fungus. So if there is no fungus, I will eat the banana, and if there is fungus, I will not eat the banana. So if we code this decision making process in a lot of nested if-else statements in the computer program, this becomes a hand-coded approach to solving this problem or making the decision. But this is not a very efficient way to take the decision because you have to code it again and again, and if there are a lot of features, it might become difficult to hand code it again and again. So basically in hand coding, we are telling the computer the rules of the game. So if the color is this, do this. If the patches are this, do this. Otherwise do that. So in this way we are telling it the rules. But in machine learning, we give them the inputs and we tell them the results, and the machine learning model is supposed to learn the rules by itself. So for example, if you want to know the rules of the game of cricket, you can ask a very senior umpire and he will tell you what the game is, how the decisions are made. But the other approach is that you watch hundreds of hours of cricket and nobody tells you the rules, but by seeing the results you come to know of the rules. So a machine learning model is basically a box in which it will take three numbers or three inputs. So in our case it is the banana's color, black patches present or not, fungus present or not, and it will take these three numbers and then output another number that is true or false or 1 or 0 if it is eatable or not. Just to give you a very simple understanding of how machine learning works. So the inputs that we are giving are a set of numbers. That is the color. It can be given a number set, like we can depict yellow with 1, green with 0, or we can give any other number also if there are more inputs. Similarly, black patches and fungus, these all are numbers. So the inputs are a set of numbers. The machine learning model is another set of numbers, and these numbers are weights and biases of the model. When these two numbers are multiplied, the inputs and the numbers in the ML model, when these two numbers are multiplied, we get another number, and this number will tell us if the output is true or false, and so accordingly we decide whether the banana is eatable or not. But there is one problem. Just like in the cricket example, if you don't know the rules, you have to watch thousands of hours of cricket. Similarly, in this case, since the machine learning model does not know the rules, it has to see thousands of bananas. So in this case, we have to prepare thousands of bananas dataset, and in this dataset we will put all the features, so the color, black patches, fungus, and the output variable, that is finally whether it is eatable or not. So in this case you can see that if it is a yellow banana without any black patches and without fungus, then it is eatable. If it is a yellow banana with black patches and fungus, then it is not eatable. Similarly, we will collect data of 1000 banana samples and prepare our data set. Now let us see how the machine will learn. The data set, as we said, that it is a set of numbers, and the machine learning model initially starts with only zeros, that is, there are no numbers in it. So when we put our data set, multiply it with zeros, we get a number that is entirely different from what we were expecting. So if the final output is different than what we were expecting, then what we get is an error. And if there is an error, then we have an update function. So the update function, what it does is that it goes back to the model and updates. Once it is updated, it will again follow the same pattern. It will multiply with the numbers and see what is the result. Now this time the result will be much closer than the desired result or the actual output which we want, but it won't be exactly same. So the error is reduced. So we go back again, update the numbers again. Now we follow this loop continuously for hundreds or thousands of times, and finally at some point of time we will get one set of numbers which give you correct output. So if we put in our numbers multiplied with this magical set of numbers, and then we will always get our output as 1 or 0. So this is the basics of the training process. There are a lot of complications like the loss function, update function, errors, bias. So we are not going into details. We will see it in the upcoming videos. So this is the overview of how a machine learning model works. Now what is the deep learning approach to this problem? So in the deep learning, we go even one step back. So in the machine learning model, we were giving it the color, we were giving it whether black patches are there or not, and the fungus. So these three were the inputs that we had collected. So we had collected this data from the bananas and given it to the machine learning model to train it and then again to test it also. However, in deep learning approaches, we have very complex inputs like images. So if this is our image of a banana, instead of a human trying to find out whether what are the features or what is the color of the banana, what if there are black patches or not, if there is fungus or not, instead of the humans getting this data from the image and then feeding it to a machine learning model, in the deep learning approach what we do is that we send this image directly to a deep learning model and then we train it to get a specific output, whether it is eatable or not. So the deep learning model has reduced our work even further, that we do not even need to take out the features or even understand the features. We just give it an image and tell the model whether this banana is eatable or not. So how does the deep learning model learns? It is very similar to the machine learning model. So if you see an image, it is basically an array of numbers, and the deep learning model, similar to the machine learning model, is a set of numbers in the form of weights and biases. And when these two numbers get multiplied, it will give you an output number that is true or false, 1 or 0, and which corresponds to whether this banana is eatable or not. So before the training of the deep learning model, these numbers are all zeros. When we multiplied the input or our array of numbers into these, what we get as output is totally different from what we were expecting as output. So we get an error. So when we get an error, we will use our update function and go back to update these numbers inside the deep learning model. After update, we check the output again by multiplying it with the array of numbers. Now this time the error will be reduced a little bit, but the error is still present. So we'll go back again, update the numbers in the deep learning model again, then check it again. So if we do this multiple times, hundreds, maybe thousands of times, after some time we will get a magical set of numbers which will always give me the correct result. So now in this is a trained model, and now if we give it the image of any kind of banana, which is an array of numbers, this array of numbers will multiply with my magical set of numbers and I will get an output which is true or false, that is 1 or 0. So basically this is how the artificial intelligence works, and the two main approaches are machine learning and deep learning. Hope you learned something from this video. If you have any questions, please let me know. I will try to make a video on it.